Hello, guys. Good day to all of you. This is our second video as well, our second lesson. In this lesson, we are still learning about Chapter 13, Carbonate. This video is specially made for science student, IGCSE Coordinated Science 0654. Okay. Today, we are going to learn about carbonate. Okay, this is our second lesson. So, our topic today is around this information, the use of limestone in treating acidic soil and neutralizing acidic industrial waste product. Okay, so for some of you who do not know about limestone, perhaps this is your first time. So I have some sample of limestone today to show to all of you. So do not worry. This is my first sample of limestone. The source of our limestone is from the shells here. Limestone also can be derived from the mountain stone I usually use to make beautiful, for example, jewelry box. These are example of limestone. And of course, guys, all of you have seen different statue. All of these statues are usually made from limestone. Okay, now if you still couldn't figure out, look behind, look on the top, look at the bottom, look at the side. All this wall of the houses are made from components that contain limestone. So cement is an example of material that contain limestone. Okay, cement, the one that they use to make the houses. Okay, so guys, we are ready. As usual, I have 3 top questions today for our lesson. So if you have a pencil and a small note paper, you can scribble and see whether whatever the understanding that you had, is it same with our learning today? Okay, this is my 3 top questions for today's learning. The first one, what is the formula of calcium carbonate? Okay, what is the formula of calcium carbonate? Number 2, what is the usage of calcium carbonate? And number 3, what is the source of calcium carbonate? So I'm going to give you about 1 minute to figure out what is the formula of calcium carbonate. Okay, so let's look at our answer. The first one, yes, very good. I believe most of you are able to derive to this answer. So take note that calcium carbonate always exists as a solid at the room temperature, pressure, and condition. Okay, now we go back to our second question today. What is the usage of calcium carbonate? Now, for example, I believe some of you already know some ideas because probably you remember this statue or this box as well. You remember all of these? Okay. So I believe you might have at least one or two answers. And we like to see more answers, which is covered up in our syllabus. So guys, according to our syllabus, calcium carbonate is used in the purification of iron. We will cover that in chapter 10, Metal IGCSE Coordinated Science. So calcium carbonate help to remove acidic impurities from the iron by reacting with them to form a molten slag. So in this process, calcium carbonate is used as one of the reactant. Okay, and this calcium carbonate usually will react with all the waste or impurities inside that iron, especially iron ore. Okay, and remove that impurity by forming a component that which produce called slag, and we use slag usually to make roads. Okay, and second, probably you know, calcium carbonate is used in industry to make building materials. So all the mortar, okay, aggregate to make roads are all made from calcium carbonate. Now, number 3, powdered chalk or limestone is used as a cheap method for neutralizing acidic soil to make it suitable for planting. So again, as we all know, some places are being faced with acid rain. And when acid rain fall, okay, or dissolve in the soil that are used for the agriculture, that soil become acidic and render unsuitable for planting any plants. So the farmers usually applied powdered limestone on the surface of the soil so that it can neutralize the acidic condition. Okay, and number 4, limestone is also used in manufacturing of cement. So guys, the limestone powder are mixed with clay and heated in a furnace at about 1500 Celsius. It is then mixed with gypsum calcium sulfate hydrated. This mixture is crushed to make cement. So this is another process. So at least from here, I hope that you will try to remember at least 2 points. Okay, so according to our syllabus, they like us to know about calcium carbonate used in producing iron from iron ore. Number 2, they are used to make building material. Okay. Number 3, they are used to treat acidity soil in farmland. Beside that, if it is good that you also know that calcium carbonate can be used and are being used in manufacturing cement. Okay, now beside this, Can you think of some other usage of calcium carbonate? Try to think. So maybe you have some ideas by now. Okay, let us look whether we have some similarity. Okay, so neutralizing acid industrial waste product in flue gas desulfurization. Okay, now most of us have seen industry. I'm going to draw for you. Okay, so guys, all of us have seen industrial building. For an example, this is a factory. Okay, this is a large factory. So this factory usually have chimney, as you can see. They have chimney, and you know, factories usually use coal. Okay, or maybe gasoline, and all of these, they usually produce sulfur dioxide gas or sulfur trioxide gases, as well other gases. Okay, not only these, they also produce carbon dioxide. Okay, they produce sometimes nitrogen gases as well. But the main component that are being produced from the coal that cause pollutant are sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. So in this chimney, there is a method to reduce the pollution. So I'm going to make this chimney slightly bigger for you to understand how it works. Okay, so this is the big part of this chimney that I'm going to draw for you. Okay, big part. Now inside this chimney, there is fitted with some sprinkler. Okay, some sprinkler, many sprinkler. And this sprinkler, okay, contain water that are dissolved with calcium carbonate. So it can sprinkle all water down here. Okay, all the water sprinkle from these pipes that contain dissolved calcium carbonate. Okay, so dissolved calcium carbonate. So this is CaCO3. They are dissolved in the form of aqueous. Okay, so what would happen is when this sulfur dioxide gas, okay, this sulfur dioxide gas, when this sulfur dioxide gas is being produced, okay, inside this factory, and when it's coming out from the chimney, it would start to react, okay, with this calcium carbonate here. Okay, they start to react. Okay, they start to react, and this sulfur dioxide will dissolve inside this calcium carbonate. Okay, therefore the amount of sulfur dioxide being released outside is very little, and this can reduce air pollution. So sulfur dioxide or sulfur trioxide is one of the component that cause acid rain. Okay, now we go back to our PowerPoint to see how it works. Okay, so you can see as sulfur dioxide passes through the plant, it reacts with an aqueous suspension of calcium carbonate to form calcium sulfide and carbon dioxide gas. Okay, so guys, you do not worry, you do not need to memorize this equation. I just give to you because it will be helpful for you to understand how it reacts. So you can see calcium carbonate react with this gas to form calcium sulfate and carbon dioxide. Okay, so this calcium sulfate is a solidified and usually white in color, and they will fall at the bottom of this chimney. And carbon dioxide gas, of course, is released out into the air. Now, this calcium sulfide can be further oxidized to form calcium sulfate. So, may I ask what is calcium sulfate? In the olden days, in the school, where they have a blackboard, okay, the teachers usually use something called chalk, a white color chalk, for you to write all the things in the blackboard. So that chalk are usually made from calcium sulfate, CaSO4. Okay, so guys, this is our main important point that I like the student to remember. So calcium carbonate is used in reducing air pollution by this method called flue gas desulfurization. Of course, in today's new technology, they are also using other chemical, but calcium carbonate is one of the method that they use. As well, it is economical compared to other method. Okay. Now, beside this, what are other usage of calcium carbonate? Let us see how in our daily life we are also using calcium carbonate. So guys, this information I bring for you will help you to remember calcium carbonate, although it is not inside our syllabus of coordinated science IGCSE 0654. Okay, calcium carbonate is used in the dietary supplement. For example, especially all the elderly people, they are advised by the physician or doctors to take calcium supplement. Am I right? This calcium supplement are usually made as calcium carbonate tablet. Am I right? Of course, guys, students, these are only taken with the advice or the condition prescribed by the physician or doctors. You do not take calcium carbonate tablet by your own self. Okay. Number two, again, this is also prescribed by the doctors or physician, okay, as an antacid tablet. So antacid tablet are made from calcium carbonate. They are used to relieve heartburn, acid indigestion, and upset stomach. So take note, these two things are only prescribed by doctors or physician and cannot be taken by our own self. Okay. Now, number three, calcium carbonate is used as a food additive, act as an anti-caking agent. So guys, for those who are using, for example, flour, for example, wheat flour, for example, rice flour, for example, corn flour, okay? Or for example, powders, for example, like milk powders or chocolate powders or any other powders like coffee powders. All these are containing an anti-caking agent. Anti-caking means it prevents the powders from coagulating and becoming a hard solidified compound. So you want the powder always to be in the form of powder, so that whenever you want to make any of your food or any of your beverages, it can easily dissolve. Okay, so by having an anti-caking agent, it will maintain all these food component is always remain as a powder form. So one of the common anti-caking agent that they are used is calcium carbonate. Okay, the last one is the easiest to remember. It is used in our toothpaste. Okay, so we know that our teeth is made from a type of component that contain calcium as well phosphate. Okay, so toothpaste are always enriched with calcium carbonate because it will help for a healthy tooth. Okay, guys, so we have covered our first two questions. We have discussed about the formula of calcium carbonate. We have discussed deeply about the usage of calcium carbonate. Now, before we end, I like to know the answer for the third question today. What is the source of calcium carbonate? From where we can get calcium carbonate? Try to think for 1 minute, and I'm going to give you a clue so that you have some ideas. Okay. I hope you already have some ideas, and our ideas are the same. Okay. So, guys, the main source of calcium carbonate, okay, is limestone. And the rock was formed millions of years ago from the remains of the shell and skeletons of tiny sea creatures which died and fall to the bottom of the sea. So these are the main source of calcium carbonate. Okay, so remember it is from all these tiny sea creatures which have died and fell to the bottom of the sea. Okay, so guys, summary of our learning today. First, the formula of calcium carbonate, CaCO3. And take note that calcium carbonate are also known as limestone. Second, the usage of limestone. So at least 3 key points that we want to take is, first, it is used in extraction of iron in the iron ore industry. Number 2, it is used in the farmland to neutralize acidic soil. And number 3, it is also used in treating sulfur gas in gas flue desulfurization in the industry. Now, beside these three, of course, calcium carbonate is also used in other part. For example, in making building, in producing cement, in making sculptures. And for your interesting information, calcium carbonate also used as a supplement pill. Calcium carbonate used as an antacid tablet for digestion problem. Calcium carbonate also used as an anti-caking agent in the food industry. And finally, in the toothpaste. So guys, that's all for today. Keep in tune, and I hope our lesson today is helpful for all of you. Have a good day. See you again.